Alrighty, hello, good afternoon everyone. I'm Fancy Nancy here with Bri, and I have 3 kids, 10, 5, and 2, and we are here to share some tips with you about pumping. I just pulled it up on my phone too.
You're gonna have to turn it down or it's gonna throw me
I
off.
know.
Hi guys, I am Bri. I have 3 kids at home, a 12-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 3-month-old. I am here today to share different tips that I've learned on my, as we like to call it, crunchy journey. I had a 12-year-old via C-section, very non-crunchy birth 12 years ago, and now here I am with the boys. So we're here to talk about topics that we get asked often.
Yeah, and the boys' births were very crunchy, and you can see their birth story in a different video.
Yes.
And
yeah.
I'm very new to the crunchy scale, so I'm like in my first year or so.
Ask questions that people may have. But
yes.
So today we are going to talk about traveling, breast milk, pumping. I get a ton of questions. I realize if you don't travel often, or even if you do, you don't know how to store it or how to get it home. What are the rules? And
I think that's one of the biggest things about breastfeeding is that it's so intimidating to think about pumping. And we're going to do a couple other videos on pumping too, right?
Yes.
About like working and pumping and how to store things and pumping. But that was one of my biggest things was, you know, what do I do? How do I do? And then traveling is just a whole different issue.
Awesome. Is he getting fuzzy?
I think he's okay.
I can take him if you want me to. Yeah, so we're going to try to keep it short and sweet as we're learning what you guys like and keep it pinpointed. Of course, if you have any questions, ask along the way. We'll address those. Tell us where you're from, what age your kids are. That'd be good to see who's watching.
Nicole is on right now. Dr. Justin, Mark, Stacy, Brianna, Crystal. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I'll keep an eye on this for questions, but if you want to take it away with the first little tip you have.
So split it into 3 different parts, pumping, storing it, and then getting it home. So first part being pumping. There's multiple different kinds of breast pumps. We won't go into that. Of course, well-named brands not. It is law that your insurance provider does have to provide a breast pump.
Wow, I had no idea.
So 30 days typically prior to your due date is when you can actually fulfill that prescription, they call it.
Do you get to pick, or does it depend on
It depends on your insurance company. Some give you a voucher, some tell you where you have to get it from, so on and so forth. With my first, I went through Edge Park Medical Supplies. They gave me 6 different options. I did not have the option to upgrade. I picked the Medela because that's
the
common,
basic.
right?
Yeah.
I did not think that having a battery pack would be a huge item or a huge ticket item.
Right.
If I wanted the one at the time that had the battery pack, I had to buy it myself, and it was $400.
So no thanks.
Correct.
Too expensive.
No thanks, but thanks. I wish I knew now what I knew then.
Right.
I traveled a lot with Jace. I breastfed till he was 2. So anytime I traveled, I had to pump.
Right.
And I remember coming home from the Orlando airport once. We did a seminar down there, and we are racing through. So the Orlando airport, it got crazy. Couldn't get through security. We get on the train to get us to the next thing, and I've got to pump because I have to plug in.
Which means you have to find an outlet.
I have to find an outlet. The only outlet I could find, I was not quite ready yet to pump in the middle of an airport, which now I have done.
Which now I would not be prepared for that.
A million times over.
Right.
But at the time I was not, so I had to go into, I could not find an outlet in the bathroom stalls.
In the restroom, yeah.
So I had to go into the handicap outlet,
the handicap bathroom,
restroom, and found an outlet. Well, the cord is not long enough, so I had to sit on the floor in the Orlando International Airport.
Oh, no.
Bathroom.
Yeah.
Midday or mid-morning, whichever it was, so that I could pump at the time.
And assuming
I had to pump. I could not skip my pump.
And were you like late to the flight too? Like, did you have tons of time, or were you?
Didn't have tons of time. I was not late. My reason for pumping before or after I had already gone through security is I didn't want to have to take the milk through security and go through all that.
Okay.
So I checked a big bag, a cooler bag full of milk that I was bringing home. I wanted to be able to carry this on. So I had to pump after security before the flight.
After security, yeah.
And I could not skip because I was struggling making enough breast milk. So we'll get into that different episode. I had to keep up on my pumping. So I'm sitting there and all I can smell is urine. I mean, it is just, I ended up throwing out the milk because
Yeah.
the thought of it just, and I had enough, but I pumped.
Yeah.
That's all I needed to do.
And you were traveling alone, or were you traveling
I was
with
traveling
Jace?
no, I was traveling alone.
Okay.
Yep. So
So
he
you
went
didn't
through
have
a
him
stint.
with you
I didn't
to-
have him with
to
me to
feed or anything?
and
Okay.
he went through about a 6-month stint where he decided he didn't want a nurse, so I
Oh,
pumped.
okay.
I was an EPer, as they call it, an exclusive pumper.
That's a new term for me
Yes.
too, but got it.
So this time around, with the amount that I travel and
Mm-hmm.
the amount I save not using formula,
yes.
I decided I was going to spend the money and I was going to get a breast pump that worked without
power.
without power.
Yeah. So that you wouldn't be stuck in an airport
I wouldn't be stuck in an airport.
looking for power.
So there's a new website out there. It's called Aeroflow. It popped up on my Facebook, and I was
can
able
link
to
it.
upgrade with them, which is really cool.
Oh,
So
okay.
they paid for the base model. My upgrade was $130, which then, for those that don't know, is you can turn in for HSA or flex reimbursement. Breastfeeding supplies are eligible for flex and HSA
Yeah,
reimbursement.
that's great.
Bags, anything you might need. So I went ahead and I got this little
Yes.
handy dandy thing right here.
Taylor says love the Spectra, and it looks
Love
like that's
the
what that
Spectra
is.
over my Medela. I
Awesome.
won't go on that rant today. The pink Spectra, for those that are wondering, has to be plugged in. The blue one has an internal battery pack.
Oh, nice.
It's the difference between an S9 and an S1. Why do I know all this
I don't know
stuff?
why you do. Because you have this one and you did your research. And now you know you
How
need
do
one
I
with
know
batteries.
all this stuff? My mom
just
asked
looked
me
it
to
up.
share how I know all this stuff.
How
It's
do you
because
know?
I look it up.
Yeah.
I read.
You do
I
the
look it up.
R&D.
The R&D, the research and development.
research and
I
development.
wasn't born with it. We don't have special classes because I work at the Wellness Way. I literally just research in
Yeah.
my free time.
Yeah.
So now I've realized this is way more handy, and I'm a huge proponent for spending the little bit extra for the one that you don't have to plug in. I have to charge it a couple times a week.
And does it work just as well?
Works
Because I had
just
one,
as well.
the Medela one with like the
Yes.
battery attachment, something or other, and it just died all the time.
This
yeah.
is meant to have a battery pack.
So it works.
So it
and
works well.
lasts a
I
long
can
time.
leave from the kitchen to the dining room.
Right.
I forget, and I'll be in the living room pumping, and somebody will say, "Hey, can you grab me the remote?" And my husband will say, "You know you can
You
get
can
up."
get
and
up.
I'm like, "Oh, I can," and I just pick up my
Or
little
we're
thing.
here at meetings and you're able to just
Yeah,
coming back
Yeah.
and
I do.
sit and
I
pump in a
I
meeting.
pump in meetings.
But I mean, and you know, Bri and I have traveled a couple times together, and the most recent one was to Nashville.
Yes.
And it was with Jackson.
yes,
And that, I mean, I noticed now how convenient it was for you to
Yes.
just be, I mean,
Was in
we
the
were in the
car,
car
yes.
and she was pumping, or we were at the airport and she was pumping, and it didn't take all of that effort of, oh, where am I going to plug in, or I need to plug in now before I, like actually now you kind of do that with your phone. My phone's dying, where am I going to plug in?
where am I going to plug it in? Yep.
But really, I mean, it's nice to not have to think about that one more thing, because it's
Yeah.
already a lot to think about.
It is
and,
a lot. It's
and
scary for
plan and know
moms.
when
Yeah.
you need to pump and make sure you're pumping enough and you have enough milk and all of that.
Yeah. I
It's a
mean,
lot.
I've pumped on a flight before. You know, obviously I had somebody that I knew next to me. I don't know how the random guy next to me would feel. Everybody's
random
not
people.
as comfortable. You get there as time goes
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
So that's number one, is the pump definitely does matter. I would suggest going to Disney World, whether it's work with the baby, without the baby, it is so much easier to not have to plug it in.
Taylor says I went out of town from my babe for 4 days and did not have to charge my pump once, pumping every 2 to 3 hours.
Yes.
Wow.
Maybe twice a week. And I don't pump all the time because he does nurse well, unlike Jacer, Racer. So
Awesome.
next thing is you've got to store the milk, right?
Right.
So breast milk,
And when you're traveling.
yes, can be left out of the fridge for 8 hours. If it's freshly expressed, I used the right term. I was going to say
Yes.
milked. Shouldn't use the term milk.
If you're freshly milked. No, I don't think that's the right term.
8
Freshly
hours.
expressed is
so
8
when
hours.
I was in the car, I would just
So
put
room
it in a
temperature.
bottle, room temperature, fine, for 8 hours. If you are in a hotel that does not have a fridge, you can request a fridge. I have yet to be told no. Most hotels nowadays do have a fridge. in
Can
them,
anyone say no
but-
to you, though? Really? But really.
But
So
really.
you can request
You
a
can
fridge.
request a fridge
Which
and
is
you can
nice.
bring it in.
And
there,
they just
yes.
roll
and
it
it's
in.
good in the fridge for a week. So unless you're staying longer, then you need
Cool.
to freeze it,
Yeah.
put it on dry ice, and ship it home. Not many, when they're super young, are gone for that long that
Yeah.
you have that much that you need to freeze it. But there is an option. You can freeze it, put it on dry ice, and you can ship it home.
And so what do you store it in? Just those little plastic bags?
No. Well, here's why. So I am a huge proponent of glass.
Oh, right.
Obviously, when I freeze it in the breast milk storage bags because most of mine gets donated, and I have to find an easy way to do that. So typically, I store here in a mason jar, but they break. They're thin.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I have found a love for these big bad boys. Right? I mean, they're thick. They're heavy. I've dropped them before.
And you just dump the milk in there?
I do. It fits. Wow, 800 milliliters because it's from Norway.
So I don't actually know how many ounces that is.
We'll find out. Something 1.5 pints, 3.1 fluid ounces.
Still,
so I would guess probably outside of the mason jar, so 32 ounces. Yeah.
And so do you need to keep track of, like on the bags, there's always the date and things. Do you keep track of that, or you just mix it all together and throw it in the glass jar?
I mix it all together, and when I get home, I date everything from the soonest one. So if I started on 11/1 to 11/7, when I get home, everything I freeze from this bottle, I'll date 11/1.
11/1.
Again, it's good in a deep freeze for a year.
Wow.
I filter through mine.
Yeah,
and
you're
we're
never going to
donating
hang
it
on
every
to it that
couple
long.
of weeks.
Yeah.
I donate the old stuff, bring in the new stuff. So, yeah.
Well, that's good. So you just, and then what do you do when you're traveling?
These are water bottles. So I prefer actually to find a Whole Foods or somewhere I can buy these on the road. Then I drink the water.
Smart, because you have to stay hydrated.
I stay hydrated.
And it's easy to get dehydrated when you're traveling. So sometimes
and
that'll
then your
affect
milk
your
drops,
pumping.
And then you get home, baby's hungry.
And it's not necessarily the pumping, it's that you weren't drinking because you're traveling.
So depending on which state you're going to.
Yeah.
So I prefer the glass bottles. These are really thick. The covers stay on really nice.
Wait, they're just asking what
this is just a
Lindsay
Voss
was asking.
bottle.
Yeah, this is Voss.
The big Voss. You can use other things. By all means, you can use plastic.
Sure.
But I love the Voss bottles. I try to use less is more. So we went through the storing, right?
Right.
I'm going to tell you why. Now on the way home, breast milk you are allowed to take in your carry-on. It does not have to fit the 3-ounce rule.
Oh,
okay?
Good to know.
However, ice packs that you're using have to be frozen.
Completely
they cannot
frozen,
be the gel packs, or they can say they don't know what's in it, depending on how strict your TSA is, okay? The other thing TSA is going to do is they are going to swab the bottle.
So do you keep it in that until you go home?
I keep, depending on how long I'm gone for, I keep a couple of these I fill them, I put them with frozen ice packs in my cooler bag, and I shove it in. A lot of times I put it in my checked bag, but sometimes people can't take the chance of that getting lost or getting whichever. So,
or a lot of people don't check anymore
bag.
because you can
So I put it in my carry-on. They are going to make you take it out, and they're going to make you test it. They put a swab on it, they put it in their little machine, and then it goes beep. But they have to test every container.
Oh.
So if you come
so you don't want all those little plastic
with
bags.
30 little 3-ounce frozen, or
even if it's frozen, they need to test it?
They need to test it.
So no matter what.
They don't open it up. They don't test the actual liquid. They test the bottle.
Oh, okay.
They swab the bottle.
Okay.
Okay. So less is more, because they have to swab the bottle. They only do one at a time. They put the little thing in the cartridge. It beeps. It says that there's no gunpowder, lead,
whatever
bomb,
people can think of putting in.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And then they go to the next one. So yes, I have heard stories where moms have froze all their milk. Or they put it all in the plastic bags. They come home with 30 of them. They have to sit there and swab
and get all of
every
them
single
tested.
one.
Oh, this makes much more sense. So I'm sure that could be a rookie mistake to just want to use the plastic ones the whole time and think it's convenient until you do this. Yeah.
Is that they have to get rid of their milk. I traveled once years and years and years
like
ago.
that you can't travel, like that you can't get through security with it?
You can't get through security. And the person I was with, she pumped and just dumped. She had to keep up with the pumping. She had plenty of milk at home, but she dumped it, not knowing how easy it really is to get it home.
And to have a bottle that size seems like it would make sense to just have a couple of those and get 2 or 3 of them tested and not have to worry about standing in line forever.
They make this size bottle in plastic, which I've used. Yeah. The nice thing about the plastic is the mouth is bigger, just for cleaning, but I prefer the glass. Right. If it's going to get warm a little bit or heat up or whichever, I do prefer the glass.
And the glass is a new, like that depends on how crunchy you are. If you're not super crunchy, then plastic works too. Yeah. But what's the harm in the plastic?
Leaches, the different chemicals, BPA, plastic in general causes estrogen. I mean, we can go on and
Yeah,
on about
all
that.
that
You can just
stuff.
look up the hidden dangers. We've got an article, I think, hidden dangers of plastic.
Probably.
So if I'm going to give the only thing my child eats and I can put it in glass, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Now, I've never traveled from Germany home. Mine have always been in the States.
Yeah.
So I might
And
think
short
differently
trips.
if I need to do a long, big gallon bottle of,
Right.
of milk or something.
Right. And that's what you get to go home
Yeah.
with.
The other thing too is most moms are on a pumping schedule and a feeding schedule. Hi, buddy. Where's your smiles today? So we can see
Yeah.
your smile.
Where are your smiles? He's just chilling over here, spitting up on me. What were you going to say? Feeding schedule? Or
Feeding
pumping
schedule, pumping schedule.
Mhm.
You can always go less than that. So I have heard moms say, well, I pump every 3 hours and I'm not due to pump till 9, but I have an 8:30 meeting. Pump at 8.
Right.
Pump early.
Well, same with when
Does
when
not
you're flying.
Hurt to pump early.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, pump like 30 minutes before your
Otherwise,
flight.
for the most part, if you're not a regular pumper, you're going to pump when baby eats if you have that luxury.
Yeah, depending on if they're there.
Yeah,
Well, I was
the
looking
last
at
thing
everyone.
that I did want to touch on in regards to rules in TSA, this is considered a medical device. So when you do most flights, you have a free carry-on or one carry-on.
Okay.
This does not count as your carry-on. It does not count as your purse.
Personal item.
And
Okay.
like if you fly Southwest, I think, or Allegiant is one of them. I know Allegiant, you don't get a free carry-on. You get a free
No,
purse, and
right.
that's it. This does not count. It's a medical
it's a
device,
medical.
so it is free. So I
Okay.
have actually walked up to a ticketing counter and had my pump in a backpack, and I had my purse in one arm, and I had my roll. I did not have him with me. I had my rolling bag behind me. Diaper bags are also considered a medical.
Diaper bags are medical?
They are medical. You
So
can
you
have a
could do
purse and
carry-on?
a diaper bag and a carry-on.
Okay. Wow, I didn't realize
I
that
prefer to
either.
have just a diaper
Just
bag that is
one.
a purse and a because
Sure.
carrying all those things. But I didn't have
You
him
want all
with me,
those
so I
things.
had my purse with my laptop bag. I had my carry-on. It was a business trip, and I had this bag. And she said to me, "You're gonna have to combine." She was not the nicest stewardess I've ever had. "You're gonna have to combine those, or you need to pay to check one of those." And I said to her, "This is a medical device. Would you like me to open it up? This is my breast pump."
Right.
And she said to me, "Oh, absolutely not. You're good." She was great about it. I
Oh,
did have to
good.
explain to her.
Yeah.
The milk is not. The cooler is not a medical device.
Okay,
That is going
right.
to count as a carry-on. So I prefer
As
to
a
get one of
separate
those
carry-on.
soft-sided coolers, put the milk in it, frozen ice packs,
And stuff
put
it in your
my
carry-on.
rolling carry-on,
Right.
and then I have my bag that has my breast pump. That's my medical device.
Yeah. And you were mentioning a new bag that you got for the next trip.
Yeah, it's
What
not
is
here.
that? No.
It's a diaper bag, but on the bottom, it was $20 on Amazon. So I mean, how can you go wrong?
'Tis the season for shopping.
Yeah,
on
I'm
Amazon.
hoping that I can
Hi, you're
unzip the
super
back,
smiley.
have access to the pump, and the diaper bag is on top.
Yeah.
So
That would
we'll
be
see
nice.
how that goes.
I was just gonna
There's
say-
different options.
I was
out
going to say
there,
hi to
so.
everybody online here.
Yeah.
Amanda, Ashlyn, Clarice. I don't know if yours is loading with the Wi-Fi back here. It didn't look like it was working.
Oh, mine's
My
not.
cousin Lindsay, Stephanie Haynes. Hey, everybody. Oh.
You didn't plug in the camera.
Oh,
Oh,
that works.
are we back up now?
Working on it.
They can hear us? Or no?
We're back.
Now they can hear
We're
us.
back?
Sorry about that. We had a technical difficulty. I don't know how long you missed out, but was just saying hi to everybody. Amanda, Clarice, Lindsay, Stephanie, Dr. Don, Maureen. Hello, everyone.
Awesome.
But we don't have much else.
I
That-
don't have anything else.
Yeah, it was
I wanted
a
to
quick
really
one today.
keep it to traveling with breast milk. If they think of comments afterwards, I know I get a lot of moms that are watching this after the fact. We'll go back and answer those questions.
Yep, we'll go back. Well, thanks for watching. Do you know what we're doing next week?
Teething.
What's the plan? Oh, teething.
Teething.
There's so many good tricks for that. Oh, do you have the
Yes.
hiccups?
Yes. Of course, my first it was
Are you teething?
Oragel and Tylenol, and we got
you
through.
teething yet?
He is not.
No.
We got through the whole teething part of Jace without any Tylenol or
extras?
any of it, without him suffering, immensely.
Where are you
So,
trying to go? He is all over the place today. Alrighty. Well,
awesome.
that's it. Well,
Thank you,
we will
guys.
plan on seeing you next week and talk about teething. Right?